So just to reorient you, we've been telling you how you deal with a stream of data that needs to be organized and clean before you can merge various streams of data in order to complete an analysis. So just to remind you real quickly, the first step of that is to prepare and import the data. We've gone over that in prior lectures. The second is to name and label the variables. This has also been dealt with prior lectures. And the last is to quality check the data. And there's now going to be a series of lectures that go over this. Specifically, we're going to go over 3 steps to the naming, to the quality checking. The first is going to be making sure that we have the right variable type. And we'll deal with a specific subset of this today, which is transforming strings, which ought to be numbers, into numbers. And as part of a second upcoming lecture, we'll tell you how to deal with dates and times. The second step to quality checking is looking for missing data. That'll be an upcoming lecture. And the third will be to make sure that you have proper values within each of your variables, and that'll also be an upcoming lecture. So today we'll really go over specifically how to change a string to a number and how to figure out what variable type all your variables are. We've already gone through the step of importing a data set, which represents how quickly and with how many errors people read various yellow page passages. If you want to see what this data looks like, you can see that for 3 different passages, we had a title, a time, and an error number, and that corresponds to variables 1a, 1b, 1c, 2a, 2b, 2c, and 3a, 3b, 3c. So we're going to expect that definitely time is going to eventually be a number, that errors for sure are going to be a number because it's a numerical value. And today we're going to really focus on this error column, which is the 1c, 2c, and 3c variables. Coming over to the data set Stata, you can see that we'll be focusing on 1c, 2c, and 3c, and we'll review some of the other ones as part of an upcoming data worksheet. So in 1c, you want to find out, first of all, what type of variable is that? And so we're going to click on YP1C, and you see it highlighted over here, and it tells you that it's a str1, or something which ends in an S, which means that it's a string. We can check the same for YP2C, we see the same outcome, and YP3C, we see the same outcome. The question is, well, why is it a string? Well, to figure that out, you're going to actually have to look at all the values that YP1, 2, and 3C can take, or have taken in the data set. And we can do that by looking at using the tabulate command, which shows you all the values that are present for that variable. So in fact, with YP1C, we see that the only values that are present are 0, meaning that there were 0 errors, or M. And when we go back and look at it, we can tell you that the M represents missing. So really, if you want to have a missing, you don't actually want it to be M. You want it to be able to just be an unknown value, in other words, missing data. And so how are we going to convert this M into missing data? So the first step is actually to change that M into missing. And we're going to use the replace command to replace the value that's within YP1C if the value that is observed is M. So we want to replace YP1C equal to what Stata counts as missing, which is just a dot. And so we're going to say replace YP1C equal to dot if YP1C has currently assigned a value in M. Note that both of these are in quotation marks because right now YP1C is a string. So when we go ahead and click that, you can see that 37 real changes are made. And now let's go ahead and look at YP1C again. Now we see that 37 values have a value of dot, whereas 142 have a value of 0. Okay, so now we're going to want to do the dstring command. So we're going to want to dstring YP1C. And you can actually either rename it at this stage, or you can simply replace the value YP1C with a numerical value of that same variable. And so we're going to go ahead and say replace, which meaning that YP1C should now become a number. We go ahead and do that. You can see there's now 38 missing values generated. You can say, well, why aren't there 37? There were only 37 that had a dot over here. Well, it turns out that one actually had no data whatsoever and was already considered missing, and we're going to have to go ahead and find out why that is. So if we now tabulate YP1C, Stata doesn't actually even show us the missing variables anymore because they aren't even assigned any meaningful value. And so all you have are zeros. Now if you go back to YP1C and click on it, you'll see that the type of data here is now byte, which is a numerical type, and the format also is no longer ending in an S, but is ending in a G. So now this is considered a number variable. We can do the same thing for the other ones, and we'll have you do some of that as part of an upcoming worksheet. Thank you.